this tutorial I'm going to show you how to crochet the African flower square. Really gorgeous pattern with your little petals all the way round and the leaves. Just a very pretty square, a nice alternative to using the granny square. Great way to use that with your scraps of yarn. Just as pretty on the reverse. It's just a really beautiful square to make. So let's have a look at the tutorial. So for this tutorial you're going to need 5 different colours. I'm using Shapier's Katona for this. So I have a yellow, a pink, a white or a creamy colour, a green and a blue. Because it's a flower, the green row, which is the 4th colour you're going to use, will be a leaf row. So you always want to try and make sure that the green that you use is going to be on the 4th row so that you get that nice leaf effect. I also have a 3mm crochet hook because of the yarn that I'm using, but you can use any size weight yarn you like with the corresponding size crochet hook. I have scissors to cut off my end, and I have a stitch marker just in case I need one. So I'm going to start by making a magic ring. Now there are several ways of doing this. This is the way I prefer. I do have a video that shows you, and I'll pop a link in the cards, that shows you different ways of doing the magic ring. So I like to make a circle where the yarn crosses over, pinch where the cross is, insert my hook into the circle and pull a loop through. Got a bit of fluff in there, sorry. So I have my magic circle and I'm going to chain 1 and chain 2 and chain 3. That chain 3 is going to count as my first treble. Now I'm going to make another treble. Now this is UK terms, in US terms that would be a double. So yarn over, insert into the circle, making sure you're going over both parts, so the circle and the tail. Yarn over and pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. Then going to chain 1, and we're going to make 2 more trebles or US doubles into the circle again. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, that's 1, and then make my second one, and I'm going to chain 1. And then we do it again. So we're doing it a total of 8 times. So these 2, the chain and the first treble, count as 1. Then there's 2, and we're going to have 8 petals in total. So let's do our next petal. That's 1 treble and 2 petals and chain 1. 1 petal. And if you find you're running out of tail, that's fine. You can just pull your circle closed and you'll have more of a tail to work with. And chain 1. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're halfway there. 1 treble, 2 trebles and chain 1. 1 treble and 2 trebles and chain 1. Again, I'm going to close my circle a little bit. 1 treble, 2 trebles and chain 1. So let's see how many you've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is the last little set. So 1 treble and 2 trebles. Going to chain 1, and then we're going to join with a slip stitch to the top of that 3 treble that we started with. So going into the top, make your slip stitch, and then we're going to fasten off because we're going to change colours for the next round. and just pull that tight. Now we want to close this ring up, but we don't want to pull it too tight, so just pull on it gently until it closes up a little bit. If you want to pull it a little tighter you can, entirely up to you, but you don't want to pull it too tight that it bunches all your stitches up together. So that's how to do round 1. So for round 2 then we're going to join our next colour. So my next colour is the pink. You can join your yarn in whichever way you prefer. I like to make a slip knot, insert my hook, and we're inserting between the 2 sets of trebles, so that chain 1 space, and it can be anywhere on your circle. Pop my hook through the slip knot and then pull through the chain space, and I'm going to chain 3. And I'm going to do another treble in the same space. Then I'm going to chain 1, and then we're going to treble 2 together. So yarn over, insert into the same chain space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over through 2 and leave your stitch there. Yarn over, insert into the same chain space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. You should have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. Going to chain 1, and we're going to work into the next chain space, and in there we're going to do 2 trebles together, chain 1 and another 2 trebles together. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over through 2 and stop, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over through 2 and stop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3, chain 1, and then we're going to repeat that 2 together into the same chain space. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over through 2 and stop, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over through 2 and stop, and you've got 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3, chain 1 and repeat in the next. And we're going to do then each of the chain spaces all the way round. So pause the video now whilst you work your stitches all the way round, and I shall see you in a moment. So to come to the end of round 2, I'm going to do a chain 1, and then I'm going to slip stitch into the top of that 3 chain, that first treble that we made, and that's the end of round 2. I'm then going to slip stitch for round 3 into the very first chain space that we have between these trebles here. So I'm not going to change colour for this round. So insert between those little clusters and make your slip stitch. Then going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and that chain 3 counts as a treble in this round. I'm going to do another 4 trebles into the same stitch. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, that's 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. So I have 5 trebles in total there. Going to chain 1, and that chain 1 is going to travel all the way over to the 1 chain space in the middle of the cluster again. So we skip this 1 chain space, skip these trebles and into this cluster here, and we're going to do 5 trebles into that space there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, chain 1, skip the 2 together, skip the chain space, skip the 2 together, and into that chain space there I'm going to do another 5. So 5 more trebles. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, chain 1, skip the 2 together, skip the chain space, skip the 2 together, and pop another 5 into that chain space. And we're going to do that all the way round. So pause the video now whilst you work your 5 trebles into each of those chain spaces, and I shall see you in a moment. So I've come to the end of round 3, so I'm just going to do a slip knot into the top of that chain, oops, that starting chain. There we go. And we are going to change colour, so I'm going to fasten off and snip the end off. So for the next colour then, we're going to join in the middle stitch of any set of 5 trebles that we made. So if you take one from each side, the middle one there, so it's the 3rd stitch along. So I'm just going to pop my hook in there so I know exactly which stitch I'm going into. I'm going to join my new yarn. And I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to double crochet that single crochet in US into the next 2 trebles from the previous row. So that's 1 and 2. Then going to do a treble or an extended treble into the gap in row or round 2. So between the stitches there you have the gap in row 3 and the gap in row 2. So we're going to yarn over, insert into round 2, yarn over, pull through, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. Then going to make 5 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into those 5 trebles. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And then we're going to do our treble into round 2 again into that gap. Then we're going to do our 5 trebles again, sorry, 5 doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then do our treble into round 2 again. And we're going to continue that way all the way around this round. So your 5 double crochets and then a treble into round 2. 5 double crochets, treble into round 2. So pause the video now whilst you make your 5 double crochet and 1 treble round, and I shall see you in a moment. So I've done my last treble of the round. I have 2 more double crochets to do. That's 1 and 2, and then I'm going to slip stitch into that first treble, first double crochet, and we're going to fasten off. So that's what we should look like so far. So this is the flower. We're now going to work on the leaves. So we're going to change to the green, And we're going to join our yarn in any of the treble stitches from the previous row. So insert my hook. Again, you can join your yarn in whichever way you prefer. And I'm going to chain one. That chain one counts as a double crochet. I'm going to put a double crochet into the next 2 stitches. That's 1 and that's 2. In the next stitch I'm going to do a half treble, so that's in the middle of our stitches here, so we're going to do a half treble in the next stitch. And I'm going to chain 2. Going to skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and in the next stitch, which should be one of your treble stitches, we're going to do 3 double trebles together. So to do that, we're going to yarn over, insert into that stitch, yarn over and pull through a loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2 and leave the stitch there. Then yarn over, insert into the same stitch, yarn over, pull through. So 4 loops on your hook, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, and then the third one, yarn over, insert into the same stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then we're going to close this up by yarning over and pulling through all of the loops on our hook, and that's made our first leaf. We're then going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and that's going to give us the corner of our square, and we're going to make another leaf in the same stitch. So again, we're going to do our double trebles together, so yarn over, insert into the stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2 and leave your stitch there, yarn over, insert into the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, and then the last part of the stitch, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, and then we've got 4 stitches left. We're going to yarn over and pull through all of the stitches or the loops on our hook, and that's our corner completely made. Going to chain 2, 1, 2, going to skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and I'm going to do a half treble in the next stitch. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. That's a half double in US. Going to double crochet into the next 5 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Then going to half treble into the next stitch. Going to chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, so we should be back at the treble from the previous round, and we're going to do our leaf corner again. So we're going to make our 3 double trebles together, so yarn over, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2 and leave it, yarn over, insert into the same stitch, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, yarn over, into the same stitch, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, so we have our 3 partly made double trebles, yarn over and pull through all of the stitches on your hook, chain 3 to make the corner, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to make another leaf. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, and again yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, and the final one, yarn over, insert, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, and then yarn over and pull through all of the stitches or the loops on your hook. Chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and pop a half treble into the next stitch. We're going to double crochet into the next 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, half treble, oops, chain 2, skip 2, and we're back at our treble to do the corner again. So we do our double, treble, 3 together. That's the last part. Yarn over, pull through all loops, chain 3 for the corner, and then make the next leaf. Four loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 4, chain 2, skip 2, make a half treble, and then 5 double crochets into the next stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Just move my tails out of the way there. Half treble, chain 2, skip 2, 1, 2, and we're back to our corner. So we do another leaf, so that's 3 double trebles together, oops. You have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops, chain 3 for the corner, and then make another leaf with your 3 double trebles together. 1, 2, and 3. 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 4, chain 2, skip 2, half treble, and then you should have 2 stitches left, so we're going to put the last 2 double crochets into those stitches, and then into the final stitch is a slip knot into the very first stitch. Yarn over and fasten off your work. So that's round 5. Now with round 5 I always like to make sure it's a green round because of the leaves, but obviously you could do it in whichever colour you want. So we're now going to do our last colour. Now if you wanted to, you could bring in another colour that you've already used, but I like to do the flower in 2 colours with an outline, then the leaves, and then I often like to put a blue on the outside because it looks like the sky. So we're going to join our yarn in the centre of any of the 5 double crochets. So those are the 2 half trebles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going into the middle one, which is the 3rd one. So 1, 2, 3. I'm going to pop my hook in there to remind me. Make my slip knot for joining my yarn. Again, you can do this in whichever way you prefer. So I'm going to pop my slip knot onto my hook and then pull through that middle stitch. And I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2. That chain 2 is going to count as a half treble. Going to put a half treble in each of the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. Into the chain space we're going to make 2 half trebles. So that's 1 and 2, whoops, and 2, and into the next stitch, which is the top of the leaf, we're going to do a half treble in there as well. Into the corner we're going to do 2 trebles, 1 treble, 2 trebles. These aren't together. Then we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and we're going to do another 2 trebles. Going to do a half treble into the top of the leaf, 2 half trebles into the space, that's 1 and 2, and then we're going to do 7 half trebles along the side. Now it looks like when you're counting them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but this actually belongs to this stitch here. So we're going to do our first half treble in there, a little bit trickier. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. In the chain space, we're going to do 2 half trebles. So we're back in the corner now. Going to do another half treble in the top of the leaf. And then in the corner we're going to do 2 trebles, 1 and 2, 2 chains, and then 2 more trebles into the corner, 1 and 2, half treble into the top of the leaf, 2 half trebles in the chain space, and then 7 half trebles along the side, remembering that that belongs to this stitch. So that's the first one there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And and then we're back to the corner, so 2 half trebles, 1 and 2 into that chain space, half treble into the top of the leaf, 2 trebles, that's 1 and 2, 2 chains, 2 trebles into the same corner space, half treble into the top of the leaf, 2 half trebles into the space, and then 7 half trebles along the side, remembering to go into that very first one, 1, 2, 3 and 4, the tail out the way, 5, 6 and 7, and we're at our last corner now, so 2 half trebles in the chain space, 1 half treble into the top of the leaf, 2 trebles into the corner space, 1, 2, chain 2, 2 half trebles into the same corner space, 1 and 2, half treble into the top of the leaf, 2 half trebles into that chain space, 1 and 2, and then we're back to our last row, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, so we need to add 3, so 1, 2, 3. Remember, we go into that very first one, which is a little bit trickier. 1, 2 half trebles, and the last half treble. And then we just do our slip stitch into the top of that 2 chain from the beginning. Yarn over and fasten off. So now all that's left to do is to fasten in our ends. So I've just sewn in all my ends, and it really is a very pretty pattern. I particularly like the long stitches here that really do separate off each of the petals, and the leaves just give a lovely finishing touch. I've sewn in my ends, being like a good girl. I think it's quite pretty on the reverse side as well. You get quite a nice texture on the reverse. So that's how to do the African flower square. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help YouTube to show it to other crocheters through its algorithm. And let me know in the comments below whether or not you're going to have a go at making one of these and what you might make with it. Anything you can make with a granny square, you can make using this square. So I can think of hundreds and hundreds of things that you can make using this lovely square. If you enjoyed seeing my stitch marker today, this is the chrysanthemum stitch marker, available on my website and also my Etsy shop, depending where you prefer to shop. Anything you buy through the shop really does help to support the channel, so I really do appreciate you considering shopping with me. I shall pop 2 more videos on the side of the screen over here to help you on your crochet journey, and I shall see you over there. Thank you so much for joining me on this one, and happy hooking!